Here now, without any further ado, is Hawaii Governor Josh Green. And welcome, Governor. The reason I think I was going to have a conversation, I was thinking about, what the other side would say. So, like, conservatives would hear climate change, so, well, we don't, and some would stop listening right there. They don't want to talk about anything to do with climate change. And second, they would say taxes, more taxes. Then you're really losing them. So, to people who have doubts about something like this, tell us why you did it. Make the case for it.
Sure. So, thank you for this time. People love Hawaii. Conservatives love Hawaii, liberals love Hawaii, moderates love Hawaii. Everyone tells me they had their honeymoon here or they, got married here. Everyone loves Hawaii. In order to protect and maintain Hawaii in paradise, we have to have dedicated resources. So like you said, we increased the tax from 10.25% to 0.75%. Just for perspective, that means people pay $3 extra for every $400 night they have at a hotel. Okay. What this does is it helps us to keep the beaches maintained, to make sure where there's massive erosion that we secure those areas so we don't lose paradise. We had the wildfire on August 8th, 2023, which all of you saw, and thank you, America, for supporting us in our recovery. We have to make sure we have fire breaks. That's what these dollars will be going to, those kind of things. The rest of the world is going to awaken to this reality, whether they like taxes or not, whether they acknowledge climate change or not. There are these storms, there are these threats. We're seeing them all over the place. And there's just no way to ever expect legislatures to come out of their base budget and fund this kind of protection. So we came up with the green fee or the climate fee. They call it a green fee to tease me a little because my last name is Green. But the truth is, it is a green fee for the environment. Right.
All right. So just to pause, I'm going to ask another question in a second. The president is going to speak in a moment, but the video you're about to see, I think he's reviewing some products and what have you. So this is Pittsburgh. We were just talking about the steel issue. Right, there you go. So I guess the gold helmet. All right. So that's the president reviewing those products. We'll obviously come back to the topic he's there to talk about and take his speech. All right. So you're going through some of these numbers. I guess I'm intrigued by a couple of things. First of all, you're saying, it's not much, because one of the criticisms I heard as well, it's a tourism tax, so are people going to be less likely to go? I'm sure you say, well, no, okay, not enough. But then is it enough that it makes a difference on your end? In other words, this was driven in part by the fires, right? That was terrible. So what does it do?
Yes.
How much money do you raise to actually make a difference then, if it's not as much of a burden on people?
Brilliant question. First of all, people will come anyway. When we had the COVID pandemic, people paid $120 to have a test to come into Hawaii, and we had record numbers still coming. We pay large fees, resort fees, and people accept that because it's paradise and because people want to support Hawaii. That's the main message. Now, the $100 million that will be generated, $100 million per year, can also be bonded. So I can generate up to $2.2 billion a year out of bonds if we need them, if we have a fire. The fire cost us $13 billion and 102 lives. We had to recover. You can only get so much insurance or so much settlement, which we did put together from many parties. So what I'm saying is, it is a reality. People across the globe are going to have mechanisms to deal with the new challenges that exist in new times. I'm not trying to demagogue climate change. I'm saying if we want places like Hawaii to survive, or destinations like ours, where you have 10 million people coming to our state, we only have 1.4 million people who live here. Right. So there is an impact, and this will help us.
So now, what else do you have to do? Does that mean there's more of this type of thing? Because most experts would tell you that climate change is not getting any better, right? So you're going to have more challenges, right? So then what do? You have to raise more money.
Well, this amount of money actually is sufficient for our state, which is a good thing. There is a very strong possibility that philanthropists will help us with matching funds because they're so committed to Hawaii. I've begun those discussions with some friends. But the main thing you do is you do what I do as a physician, which is you invest in prevention. So we're adding technology so that we can see fires before they become large fires. We're adding extra fire breaks so that it doesn't get across the road. We're doing things that an ounce of prevention is a pound of cure. Right. And I think that's how everyone's going to have to govern. Yeah.
One more thing, Governor, because we brought this up last hour. We were actually talking about California at the time. The president's tariffs. Are you, and all the kind of attention it's getting in the media and everywhere else, any impact on tourism on your end? Because they were saying, well, are people going to be less likely to visit the United States? Would that include visits to Hawaii? What about that impact, separate from what we're talking about? Is there any?
Yeah, Canadians are pissed. So they don't want to come to any part of America right now. And I apologize to them, but that's not our policy. We want people to come to heal in Hawaii. So to all of Canada, please separate us from that concern. You can still come to Hawaii and you don't have to worry about a conflict.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.